So you're either sick of working for someone else or you're one of the 22 million people who lost their job because of the pandemic. My name is Tariq Johnson and I've been a multi-unit franchise owner who built a 7-figure franchise business owning 2 different locations 2,400 miles apart, one in Florida and one in California. And in this video, we'll talk about whether it makes sense to buy a franchise or a business post-pandemic and exactly what you need to know and be thinking about in order to make a decision. So let's jump in. So first, there's a lot of great opportunities that are out there right now. Economic downturns and recessions always wind up creating a lot of really great opportunities for the years to come. And so we're going to talk about some specific industries and opportunities later on in the video, so make sure that you stick around. Now, if you're like me and you like to go fast, then you can go ahead and grab my 7-step blueprint that I created to business profits in 60 days. It's completely free, there's no gimmicks. But what I did was I documented exactly how I got my juice bar in California profitable in the first 60 days, generating well over $30,000 in sales, and documented that exact blueprint on how I did it. So go ahead and grab that. You can head over to tariqjohnson.com and download that for free. So the first thing to go over here is that economic downturns and recessions always wind up creating opportunity. Now, the important thing to note here is that you got to be smart about the way that you do it. There's an interesting quote by Sam Walton. If you don't know who Sam Walton is, he's a guy that founded and started Walmart, and he said, "I was asked what I thought about a recession. I thought about it and decided that I did not want to take part." Now that's a little bit of a loaded statement. There are some businesses that are primed to be able to survive and thrive in a recession no matter what. So it's important that when you look at buying a franchise or a business, that you're making a smart decision and looking at industries that make sense and that can do well either through the recession or coming out of the recession. Doesn't mean that the business is going to be succeeding right now, but maybe you buy something where over the next 6 months or a year, it's still building up its momentum, but then once the recovery starts to happen, you hit the ground running because it's primed for success. We'll talk about some of those industries that are great opportunities a little bit later in the video, so again, make sure that you stick around. As an example, maybe buying a full-service restaurant doesn't make sense. There are a lot of restaurants that are still struggling because people do not want to go out to eat, or they're having to operate at 25% capacity, 50% capacity, but that can present an opportunity. Imagine that there's a restaurant in your neighborhood or community that you love going to. I mean, we all have those restaurants that are a go-to where we might go there once a week or a couple times a month or even a couple of times a week. Maybe that business is struggling right now. Maybe it's struggling to have customers come in, and once things get turned around, that business will be successful again. Maybe the owner is older, or they're just not in a financial situation to survive and that business is for sale. In that instance, it could represent a great opportunity to go in and buy that business. You might struggle over the next 6 months. Things might be challenging or tough over the next 3 to 6 months as things get back to normal. But then once they do get back to normal, you're able to have bought that business for a really great deal and opportunity. On the flip side of that, if the business is in New York, and people are moving out of New York like crazy because people don't really want to be in cities after the pandemic, then maybe that business doesn't require. So this is where it's important to do research and have some business smarts about what are good opportunities and what aren't. And go ahead and drop me a comment below. I'm curious, what kind of business are you looking at right now, or what kind of business would you love to own? Let's just go over some of the businesses that were actually started in a recession. So you got Hewlett-Packard, which started in the 1937, 1938 Great Depression. Hewlett-Packard is HP, if you don't know, it's a very successful business. You got Hyatt Hotels, was started in the 1957, 1958 recession. That's a huge company, and they're publicly traded. Microsoft was started between 1973 and 1975. when there was an oil embargo and stock market crash that led to a 16-month recession. EA, Electronic Arts, was started in 1981 and 1982 recession. MailChimp in 2001 and 2009, they experienced huge, massive growth spurts. What happens in recessions is that people tend to want to start or own a business in times of recession. They get sick of working for other people, they get laid off, and they realize that even working at a job where you think you have security or tenure or you're a great performer, whenever you're working for someone else, there is no true security. And although owning your own business has a lot of risk associated to it, at the end of the day, you can rely on yourself. To me, in my opinion, the lowest risk is being able to count and depend on yourself, because at the end of the day, no one else can fire you. And even if you lose a client or you go through a time that you're struggling, you can strap on your bootstraps and you can go out there and you can tough it out and you can make it happen. You can pivot, you can start another business. You're relying on yourself, and no matter how great a performer you are for someone else, that doesn't guarantee job security. So now represents a great opportunity for you to own or start a business if that's something that you want to do. Now, the second thing you need to know is going ahead and crushing that like button below. Guys, all the YouTubers say it. That actually kind of gets on my nerves, but there is a lot of reality in it. If you go ahead and hit the like button and subscribe if you're getting some value out of the video, what happens is it actually helps the YouTube algorithm. So one, you can see more of my videos that I'm going to be posting about franchise ownership and buying businesses and how to run them, make them profitable, and succeed as an entrepreneur. But it also helps other people see this video, and the more views it, the more comments, likes, subscribes, the more people that see the video. So go ahead and make sure you hit the like button and subscribe. I'll appreciate it. All right, let's keep it going. Having been investment licensed for over 13 years, the key to investing in anything, whether stocks, bonds, real estate, is buy low and sell high. It's pretty simple, right? Easier said than done. The same is also true for businesses. As I was talking about before, if you can go out there right now and buy an existing business for a great deal or value, you can wind up buying that business for a low price and cash flowing a significant amount on that business. And then you can wind up selling that business later on, or just continuing to grow the sales in that business and increase the income. It's similar to the real estate crash in 2007 and 2008. There were a lot of people who got foreclosed on in 2007 and 2008. The people that had cash and had money and were able to go and buy real estate at those decreased values of 30 to 50% on the dollar, we're able to get some amazing opportunities. And what happens is it's in times of fear that are actually the best time to go ahead and invest. You know, Warren Buffett is famous for saying that when people are fearful, you need to be greedy. And when people are greedy, you need to be fearful. So there's a lot of opportunities right now. There are a lot of deals right now. You have to make intelligent decisions and do your research though. They don't just go buying investments recklessly, but do your research and find the opportunities. Now, if you know you definitely want to be buying a business or a franchise, I'm going to be working with a small group of people and walking them through step by step exactly how to go through that process, how to look at different business opportunities, how to find the deals, how to make sure that they align with your personality, your skill sets, and then also doing the research on what those different opportunities are, whether that's buying an existing business, buying an existing franchise, or starting a new business or starting a new franchise. So there's only going to be a few spots. They're going to fill up quick. If you're interested, then go ahead and click the link down below. You can apply for the program, and I'd be happy to help you. Now, the fourth thing is that there are a lot of competitors that are closing business. Now, my wife and I live here in Orlando. We live about 10 minutes from Disney World, and already in some of the shopping centers that we've gone to, I've already seen a lot of businesses that have closed down. Now, Orlando has been hit hard in a different way because there's so much tourism that usually supports Orlando. Obviously, there's not as much tourism happening with the pandemic going on. With those competitors closing down, the people that were struggling either financially or weren't running good businesses, that's an opportunity for you to go in with your new business and capture that marketplace, because at some point things are going to pick up here. The tourism is going to come back online, and the businesses that can survive, or the new businesses that can come in, are going to be the ones that are able to get those new prime real estate opportunities. I mean, right here on Restaurant Row, there's a few prime real estate spots that have opened up. Someone that has, let's say, a juice business may have wanted to go into a certain shopping center or location, but either there's already a juice business in that shopping center or location, or there's just no square footage that matches up what their needs are. And so now with competitors closing, it provides an opportunity to go in and either replace that competitor or get that prime real estate that wasn't available before. Now, the last one is, I promised that I would share that there are great industries out there right now. And so some of the industries that are doing well right now throughout the pandemic, and some of the industries that will start to do really well coming out of the pandemic. So the first one is health related. So juice and smoothie bars. Now, I'm a little bit biased saying this because I've owned 2 juice bar locations, but fortunately, outside of about March or April, when everything really started to get crazy with the pandemic and there was so much uncertainty, and our sales dropped at our locations, but pretty quickly after that, our sales rebounded, and actually both of my stores had been up year over year as of this video, October 2020. It's really crazy and counterintuitive, but because of that business, with a pandemic going on, people want to boost their immune system, they want healthy products. So taking a look at anything that's in the health-related space could make a lot of sense. Now, of course, there are a lot of exceptions to that. And again, the theme of this video is make sure you do your research, or you can go ahead and reach out to me or ask me if you need some help. But none of these are blanket statements. And just because something works, just because one industry has been successful during the pandemic, it also depends on the geography. A business that may be successful here in Orlando may not be successful in California, may not be successful in New York, and it may be successful in Colorado. You just never know. You have to make sure you do your research on a case-by-case scenario. The other business that has been doing well is some of the medical related businesses. Obviously, anything that has to do with like drug testing or COVID testing. My brother-in-law actually owns a few franchise locations that does drug testing. They quickly pivoted and started doing COVID testing. And I know he's actually opening up new locations right now, and he's crazy busy. So there are a lot of opportunities in the medical field, but there are also different businesses in the medical field that are struggling because of people not electing different surgeries or electing to actually go into these businesses. So again, do your research, but there are some great medical related businesses right now that are doing really, really well, and that will continue to do well coming out of the pandemic. Now, one of the other businesses that offers a great opportunity is cybersecurity or technology related. With so many people working from home and needing help with tech issues and buying different technology related equipment and needing to make sure that their security is tight because they have employees that are working from home now, it offers a really great opportunity for someone to either start some sort of franchise technology or security business, or if you have a background in technology, it's a great opportunity to leverage your background to start that type of business. And then the last business that can make a lot of sense right now is something in the online fitness space. This is a great opportunity to pivot to the online space. People are at home, they want to work out and exercise at home, so it represents a great opportunity. Guys, if you got some value out of this video, go ahead and make sure to subscribe to my channel so you can get some of my future videos. Also, make sure to head to my website and download my 7-step blueprint to business profits in 60 days. Go to tariqjohnson.com. You can download that real quick. And then a great next video that I made is what it's like owning a franchise. You can click right here and that'll take you to that video. But I will see you in the next one.